The Admission Review and Dismissal Committee, also known as an ARD, consists of several people: the student, the parent, teacher, principals, and possibly more. And this committee reviews the student's individual education plan to make sure that they are meeting the appropriate goals, as well as developing goals for the following year until the student graduates. Access is the ability to gain information from a variety of different resources, places, services, or programs in your area. An example of an accommodation is if you were to go to work and they were to provide you an interpreter or to give you a lighting system or a video phone so that you can communicate. There are a variety of accommodations that can occur at your workplace. An advocate is a person that supports you on your behalf. They are there for you. For example, if you were going to go to a workshop, but the workshop was not going to provide an interpreter, the advocate can help make that happen. They can speak up for you, or they can encourage you to follow the appropriate steps to get the presenter to provide an interpreter for you. The age of majority. This means when a student becomes 18 years old, they are considered an adult. There are situations where the student is going to need to continue school and their parents will need to be involved. This is done through IDEA or a court order for the student to continue school after the age of 18. Agency. An agency can be federal, state, or local. They are responsible for carrying out the duties as assigned by the government. These can be services that are provided to the public and are supported by taxes. An example of a federal agency is the IRS or the Social Security Administration. A state agency is DARS that helps the deaf community. A local agency is Travis County, who provides interpreting services. These are just some examples. The Americans with Disability Act, or ADA, is a federal law that tries to remove discrimination in schools, the workplaces, and all over the United States. For example, if you want to go to college and it's a public university that doesn't provide interpreters, you can use the ADA law to prove your case that you need communication access, or perhaps if you need an FM system, or if you require a ramp for your wheelchair. This also covers work, school, transportation, and all public and private places over the United States. Assistive technology. An example of assistive technology in the workplace is for example, if you needed to make a phone call and you were deaf, you could use a video phone installed in your office. Or for example, if someone knocks on your door and you're unable to hear it, a lighting system can be put in. So those are some quick examples of assistive technology. Competitive employment. An example of competitive employment would be if there is a hearing and deaf coworker, both of these individuals should be paid the same amount. Courses of study. This can be a 4 to 6 year plan to meet the student's needs while they are in high school, or while they're doing an internship, their IEP, or their goals that are based inside of their program. This can go into graduation or until after graduation. Customized employment. An example of customized employment would be an employee who has a disability, who when they work for that business is provided an accommodation in order for them to maximize their skills so that they can contribute to the business. Developmental delay. Developmental delay refers to children who have been identified to be behind in certain areas. This could be physical, cognitive, communication, social, emotional, or adaptive. These areas can be tested diagnostically to catch their delays. Disability. Disability means an individual has some sort of impairment that keeps them from doing normal everyday activities. Discrimination. Discrimination is treating people unequally based on their skin, gender, religion, or physicality, or any other thing that makes something not equal. Durable power of attorney. This is a written document that gives another person the authority to take over someone else's decision making. It is a written document. Educational power of attorney. There are situations in which parents are at a loss regarding special education. The power or rights can be given to an attorney or a specialist that knows much about special education and lets them make the decisions for the parents' children. Eligibility is that you have the right to receive some sort of service based on your eligibility. For example, if you are deaf, you can go get documentation from an audiologist in order to get government benefits, or speech services to get therapy. The evaluation then makes you eligible for the services that you need. Employer. An employer is a boss. This can be a government, a school agency, a public or private business that hires people to work for them. Employees work for an employer. Employment. Employment refers to the idea that I work for someone, be that a company, the military, a contract agency for a one-time job, or an independent contractor who works for a variety of different businesses, for example, interpreting. All of this is referred as employment. Entitlement. Entitlement is the right to receive specific benefits as provided by law or contract agreement. This can be from a government program for financial benefits, or by being a member of a group. For example, if you work for a company that provides insurance, you have a right to be entitled to the insurance benefits. Functional skills. Functional skills are the specific abilities that a person has in order to go to school, work, communicate, or socialize with other people. A goal is something that you want to achieve. This can be short-term or a long-term goal. For example, after you graduate high school, what would you want to do next would be a goal. Guardian. There are some situations in which students or young adults are unable to make decisions for themselves. Whether the parents are not available, or the parents are not around, or the parents live far away, the court can assign someone else to manage that person's finances, educational needs, or their health needs. These are some examples of what a guardian does. Guardianship alternatives. For example, there may be a situation in which a court assigns a guardian, and sometimes a guardian may not be needed. So alternatives can be documentation or a power of attorney in order to work out a plan for the person. There might be a one-time professional need instead of having a full-time guardianship. This is called guardianship alternatives. Independent. Independent means that you can support yourself without relying on anyone else. Individual Educational Program, or IEP. This is a documented plan for students as they go through their schoolwork. The IEP can involve the parents, you the student, teachers, counselors, principals, or others to develop this plan for special education. Individuals with Disability Educational Act, or IDEA, is a federal law. This law dictates how public schools and states provide their early intervention services, their special education services, and how those relate to children with disabilities. This can be deaf children, those in wheelchairs, blindness, or any other disability falls under IDEA. Integrated employment. Integrated employment is for people who have a disability that have an opportunity to socialize those without disabilities. This is called integrated employment. Intellectual disability. The old term was mental retardation. It has since been changed to be referred to as intellectual disability. This is a person who has challenges with normal life activities. This could mean communication, dressing, learning at school, socializing. These sorts of challenges are under the category of intellectual disability. Medicaid. Medicaid is a Title 19 program that provides medical coverage for those who are in need for doctor's appointments, medicine, hospitals, and more. Medicare. Medicare is a health insurance program for those who have a disability or over 65 years of age that is provided by the government. Medical power of attorney. There are situations in which if a person has Alzheimer's, is in a coma, has a terminal illness, in which that person may give up their decision making to someone else. This could be a family member, a parent, a spouse, and they give up their decision making power to the power of attorney to make decisions regarding their health. Natural environment. Natural environment refers to the places that are close to your home. This could be churches that provide activities, or the YMCA, or a neighboring school. It's places with people that do not have disabilities can interact with those that do. This is called the natural environment. Natural support. This is related to the natural environment. In the natural environment, there will be supports there, possibly at your church or at a public school or the YMCA, that can provide support. And oftentimes your family and friends as well. On-the-job training. This refers to after you've received employment that you can continue to learn while working. This can be from your supervisor or a coworker to teach you the processes while you work. Person-directed planning. This refers to a person that guides the planning process. For example, if you're a high school student and you get an internship, you can have a job coach, and that person would be called the directed planner. They identify your needs and help with your plans for your job environment. Post-secondary. This refers to your life after you've graduated high school. Post-secondary goals. This refers to after you've finished high school, the plans that you develop and the goals that you create based on your level of need, your age, your appropriate transition, different testing or evaluations in order to help you develop your goals after high school. present levels of academic achievement and functional performance. The PLAF is a summary of your different sections of your performance in language arts, mathematics, science, and vocational skills. These summaries are developed using evaluations of your performance and are used to develop your next plan. Referral. A referral in regards to education is when your local school district will refer you, or a counselor can refer you, or the vocational rehab counselor can refer you to different areas. This is called a referral. Rehabilitation services. The aim of rehabilitation services is to help someone find full-time work for those that have a physical impairment or a disability. The goal of vocational rehab is to help you find full-time work. They do this by providing training, resources, or helping you find a job. They also help with permanent careers. Related services. When you have an evaluation done, other services can be provided, such as transportation, occupational therapy, physical therapy, counseling, speech services, audiology services, and a variety of others. They can help you with your disability in special education environments. Representative payee. A representative payee refers to a person that is assigned to work with you in the event that you qualify for special funding benefits such as Social Security or the VA. This person monitors to make sure that your money is being spent on clothing, basic needs, food, bedding, shelter, and that they are creating a record of your expenditures. This is the responsibility of the representative payee. Resume. A resume is a document that lists your accomplishments, what awards you may have received, your previous work experience, and what education you've completed in order to show a future employer. This is referred to as a resume. Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973. This is a federal law that prevents a qualifying individual with a disability from being discriminated against. Self-advocate. This means a person has the skills to successfully negotiate, convince, communicate their rights, interests, desires, and needs. Self-determination. Self-determination means that someone has the rights and ability to guide their own life, as well as accept responsibility for their decisions. Self-employment. This means that a person owns a business, works as a consultant or as an independent contractor, or has a contract with a company to do specific tasks for them. This is referred to as self-employment. Social Security Disability Insurance, also known as SSDI. If I have been working and had money taken out of my paycheck for SSDI, it's built into an account so that at a later time, if I qualify, I can then receive those funds from that area. If I were to die, those funds pass on to my children. My parents can also pass me their benefits. Supported decision-making. This refers to a structured place in which you entrust a friend or family member or professional in order to take a look at your situation and consider your options in order to help you make the best decision possible based on those options. That is then put down into a written document and presented to be made into a plan. Summary of performance. After you've graduated high school, you're given a summary of performance that shows all of the activities that you've been involved with in high school. As you go out into the world, you can show adult agency programs your summary of performance. They can use this to evaluate and get you into the appropriate programs. Supplemental Security Income is also known as SSI, is a supplemental income for those who have a disability with low income. It's a program which additional payments are made to help with school, living expenses, or other costs of living. Supported employment. This refers to an individual who has a disability that is supported by possibly a job coach or other employee while working. Taxes. When you work, a percentage of your check is put away for a variety of different things for taxes, such as Social Security, Medicare, unemployment, and federal taxes. The federal government takes these funds out of your check and then is used both by federal and state agencies. Ticket to Work, or TTW. This is a program for those who receive SSI or SSDI who want to work. Ticket to Work means that you can still receive these benefits while getting job training or getting access to different benefit programs. The goal is that once you receive a full-time job, then your benefits would stop as you transition to work. This is Ticket to Work. Transition Assessment. Transition assessment is an ongoing process in which information is collected based on an individual's needs, preferences, and interests regarding their employment, education, life, and social skills, and social environment. Transition services. Transition services include a variety of different areas. This is based on your disability, on the results of various assessments from school, activities, your work experience, and this is all used in order to help you with high school to post-secondary programs. Vocational education. Vocational education is a program that focuses on developing a vocational program. This can lead to paid or unpaid employment to help prepare for a career. This could include a degree or an advanced degree, such as welding. If you were a welder in high school, you can go to Austin Community College to continue developing your welding skills to get a welding degree, or you could do culinary, art, photography, or a variety of other areas. Vocational rehabilitation is a program that's designed to help any individual with a disability receive training for a new employment or to find new employment, keep new employment, and continue developing a permanent career. Volunteering. Volunteering meaning you are willing to work without pay.